pop your top and how you lose your cool and how you look at me too. Say why? It ain't no fighting, no I can't stop it. This took a while for the way you pump your fist, how you bust your hip for my affection. Tryna be down, no fighting, no stopping. Stick around. And you're the type of girl I take over the mama. The type of girl I know your daddy be proud of. Be proud of, be proud of, be proud of. The type of girl I wanna turn into a mama.
Yo, welcome back to the Carpenters Apprentice. Today we have a local artist here in Southtown, San Antonio, Michael Esparza. Sir, would you like to tell the folks why you do what you do?
That's a big question.
Yes.
Why do I do what I do? I think maybe it just comes naturally to me. I feel like sometimes I think that basically what I do is just move things from one place to another place. Like I'm thinking about like going to like my favorite stores, Home Depot, Hobby Lobby, which is just basically like materials. Then I feel like I just move those materials from that place to my house and then rearrange them in a different kind of way and then package it and people buy it. I just like to make things.
How do you decide when you're rearranging the things, though? When you're putting them in the rearrangement? Because let me tell you, we go to Home Depot, you and I don't think it's going to look the same when we rearrange them. But how do you decide? Because the way you do things is so fucking tasteful, man.
Well, just like this thing that I have over here, it's the what it actually is a TV screen. My dad gets broken. My dad gets broken TVs, and one day I wanted to figure out what was inside of it, and apparently it has this film on the inside of it that's what refracts, or I don't know if that's the right word, reflects what the lightings to make the image on for the TV. So since the TVs were broken, I started taking them out and seeing that it makes these really cool illusions if you put it like close to things, far away from things. So I was trying to figure out what to do with it. So first what I did is started to frame them, and then I started cutting them in slices, just figuring out a different way or just a new way to put them together and I guess put a frame on it, more tasteful, a more appealing way of looking at something. Whatever material, or most of the things, sometimes the things that I find are just pieces of wood, like at Home Depot. I'm sure you know they have like that clearance rack. So I'll go over there and I'll spend like $10 on maybe a long piece of wood that's warped. But when you take it home, you can slice it really small and then the warp doesn't really matter, so it goes away. So I'll put that, just cut the pieces and then put them aside, try to figure out what to do with them. And then, like I was telling you earlier, I like to put things next to each other that move things around in my house. So I had a piece of sheet metal that had been bothering me, so I put that on top of the table, and I ended up putting those pieces just to store them. And I started seeing that if I arranged them in the pattern, that it would look really cool on top, the wood on top with the background of the sheet metal. So then I started staining the wood, and then I put it in a frame and then hung it, and that's one of my pieces. So it's just rearranging things.
Okay, so the way you take things and you beautify them, it doesn't matter what the hell it is. You just take it and find a way to beautify it. Let me ask you a question. Do you do that in life too? I mean, when it throws you some obstacles, do you find a way to reimagine it?
I just always try to stay positive. That's like the mirror series that I'm doing right now with the phrases on them. I went to an auction and I bought a lot of artwork, some frames, some canvases, and then some mirrors came with it. I really didn't want the mirrors, but I had them, so I had them there. I had them in my house. I hung them up. I walked by them. I tried to figure out what to do with them. And then I decided, well, what if the mirror could tell me something? What if the mirror could talk to me? but I didn't want to put the words like almost like when you go to a barber and it has like their name on it. Sorry, has their name on it. So it's more about the name than it is about the reflection. So I wanted the mirror to be more about the text, so you could barely see yourself through the text. So it was more about the mirror talking to you, so that I put phrases like, you are so fucking beautiful, let that shit go. There's one in my room right now that says, make today your bitch. Which is, I wanted to use phrases that were things that I would say, not things that I go by at Hobby Lobby, things that I say in my own head. So I know that they're not cliche, that they're not fake, because it's not going to work on me if I see like live, laugh, love. Like, that's not me. Like, I could see that and it'll make me feel kind of good, but I don't say that in my head.
Me either,
so
not even once.
I wanted to do phrases that were things that I say. So, I mean, that I can re-say them in my head. And I mean, they work on me. I had a mirror that said, damn, you look fucking good. And as soon as I finished it, I was on a Friday night. And I was getting ready and I looked at myself in the mirror, but I couldn't really see myself. But then I kept seeing the damn you look fucking good, damn you look fucking good. And then finally I just went with it. I was like, well, fuck it, I look good. Like, thanks, man. And I went out and it made me feel good. I had another one that it just said breathe. That was one of the first ones that I did because I was trying out the phrase thing to see how it would work, see how much the lettering, the placement, stuff like that. So I just put one word, I put breathe. And that one worked on me too. Every time I passed by it, I would, and it just would relax me. So apparently the mirrors work. I mean, they even work on me, and I made them. So.
Well, that's pretty cool, brother. You know, you have all this art and you're putting it out there. Do you? What does it feel like to be an artist in Southtown with the emergence of the art scene coming here?
What does it feel like? I don't know. I mean, I just make art, and I just so happen to live on this side of town. And I mean, I remember going to First Friday when I was in high school and seeing artists put their stuff out, and I just knew that's what I wanted to do, or I knew that I could do something like that, or I don't want to do something better than that, but I mean, I would see people's work and I'm like, I could do that. I can go home and I can make stuff and I want to put it out and I know people would buy it. And that's basically what I do in all the time. I just make stuff that I would hang in my own house, and then I try to move that stuff out and have other people have it in their house, and then I want to have new stuff in my house and then move it out to somebody else.
Why do you do this? Why do you do the rearranging of things? What compels you to make this shit happen?
I don't know. It's just like my thing, I guess. Like I just like it. Like I just like moving things around. I like rearranging things. Like rearranging I've gone late to work when I used to work at the gallery. I've gone late to work. I used to work at HEB. I would go late to HEB. Just like things like I don't feel right with something, like if it's not hung right or the placement of something, like I'll be late to work because I was hanging a painting, like it just was too high. No, it's too low and I don't like it next to this one. I'm gonna move it somewhere else. Like, oh, that chair's bothering me. Or maybe it's like, I don't know, obsessive compulsive disorder. I don't know, but I just like things, like I just love them, like things and aesthetics and colors and placement of things, feng shui, stuff like that. Maybe that's why I make art. I don't know. I just like things and aesthetics.
What's the most beautiful thing you've ever seen?
Women.
Amen to that, my brother.
I see them every day. I mean, that's in my figurative work. That's basically what I do. I just do women, and I just like to paint them. I think they're the pinnacle of beauty. That's what all the old masters would do. So when I do my figure work, I think that's the most beautiful thing that you can do, and it's one of the hardest things to do, to create a very beautiful woman. So it doesn't look like a man. It doesn't look like a grotesque woman. It looks like a very, very pleasing, beautiful woman. That's what I like to. I think it's the most beautiful thing.
Oh my God. Don't even get me started. Oh, well, she's not too good looking herself, my friend. Okay, so what would you say to any young artists who want to try it? But, there's like a lot of young people on this side of town that want to try art, but they don't think that it's a reasonable request of themselves.
What do you mean a reasonable request of themselves?
Well, I was just talking to a young person the other day, and they were telling me that they would love to pursue art, but they didn't know if they could make a career out of it, or if their family would, really accept that kind of decision. And I wondered if you had any advice for a young artist like that.
I don't know, because my family, for the most part, is supportive. I guess when I'm selling paintings, when I'm not selling paintings, they're not very supportive, or maybe they just don't understand the way it works. Like they want me at the 9 to 5, and they don't understand. Like I tell them, like, who do you think is making the paintings? Like they just don't come out. Like I need to be in my studio making the painting. But I mean, what I would tell them is just do work. Like just make work. Like the best thing that you could do is just perfect your craft. Is just keep painting. I don't know if somebody told me or I heard it somewhere, but they would say like out of the thousands of paintings that you do, only one of those is going to be your great, one of your great art paintings. So you just need to keep creating, because that's the only way that you can make money. One, figure out what's working, what's not working. Figure out what's making money, what's not making money. Even the paintings that I work, sometimes I'll make something like I did this Dairy Queen landscape thing. I thought it was really cool. I took it out. Nobody liked it. People liked it, but I never sold it. It didn't have as much fanfare. I brought it back home, painted over it. That's another thing that I would say. Don't get too attached to your work. Don't let people's critique really get you down. Like, they're not talking about you. They're talking about your painting. So I took the Dairy Queen back, painted over it, put a heart on it, sold it the next day. So it was just an object. It wasn't really the Dairy Queen thing. The Dairy Queen thing wasn't working. I painted a heart. It was gone. Now I have money in my pocket. Hey, on to the next thing. So just keep creating. That's basically what I can tell them. And don't let what anybody says really affect you. Like, listen to what they have to say, but don't let it affect you. Just know that you're the only one, that you're the captain of your ship.
I like that, brother. And how can people get a hold of you if they want to purchase any of your work or see some more of your work?
I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook.